lost tombs that shocked archaeologists. The desert keeps its secrets, the jungle hides its dead, and the mountains guard their ghosts. For centuries, humanity believed that the greatest tombs had already been found: Tutankhamun, the Terracotta Army, the royal burials of Mesopotamia. But the earth has not yet finished whispering. Deep beneath sand, stone, and soil, archaeologists have unearthed tombs that shocked the world, not just for the treasures inside, but for the mysteries they carry, the curses they warn, and the truths they force us to confront. Tonight, we descend into the shadows of history to explore the lost tombs that shook archaeology to its core. Death, in every civilization, was never the end. It was a doorway. And tombs were built not just to house bodies, but to cheat time, to tell stories to those who would come centuries later. Pharaohs filled their tombs with treasures for the afterlife. Kings carved their victories into stone walls. Commoners hid their dead with offerings, hoping to secure favor in the next world. But time is cruel. Many of these tombs vanished, buried beneath shifting sands, swallowed by forests, drowned under floods, or erased by conquest, forgotten, until they returned. And when they did, the discoveries were so powerful that they shook archaeology, history, and even the beliefs of entire nations. This is not just a story of ancient bones. This is a journey into mysteries hidden in stone, where every discovery reveals not just the past, but the secrets the past wanted us to forget. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Pharaoh, Tomb of Thutmose II, Egypt 2025. Egypt, the Land of Eternal Kings. For over a century, archaeologists believed the golden age of tomb discovery was long gone. Howard Carter's uncovering of Tutankhamun in 1922 was thought to be the last great treasure hidden beneath the sands. But in 2025, in the Valley of the Kings, a sealed chamber was found beneath collapsed rock. Inside lay the long-lost tomb of Pharaoh Thutmose II, a ruler erased from memory. Unlike Tutankhamun's dazzling tomb, this chamber was stark. The walls were undecorated, stripped bare. Burial goods were scattered, as though looters had stormed through long ago. And yet there was something even stranger, a sarcophagus bearing a curse. It did not warn of death, as most Egyptian tombs did. Instead, it promised something more chilling. "May those who open this tomb be forgotten, as I was forgotten." The words cut like a wound through time. Thutmose II's reign was brief, overshadowed by his wife Hatshepsut, one of the most powerful women in Egyptian history. Scholars long debated whether he had been a weak ruler or deliberately erased. The tomb deepened the mystery. His remains showed signs of illness, but also of fire damage. Had his body been burned after death? Was it part of a forgotten ritual, or an attempt to destroy his memory completely? This was not just a tomb. It was a scream from a man erased from history, warning anyone who disturbed him that they, too, might be forgotten. And while Thutmose II's tomb raised unsettling questions, it was only the beginning. For far from Egypt, another discovery was about to shake the world of archaeology even more. Chapter 2. The Tombs Beneath Iraq's Drought, 2025. Sometimes the earth reveals its secrets not through excavation, but through disaster. In 2025, severe droughts struck Iraq, draining reservoirs and shrinking rivers. And as the waters receded, they revealed something astonishing: a city of tombs, carved into stone, sealed for thousands of years. Archaeologists identified more than 40 tombs dating back over 4,000 years, remnants of Mesopotamian civilization. Inside were skeletons still wearing jewelry, clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform, and vessels filled with food offerings. But what shocked experts wasn't just the craftsmanship, it was the link these tombs revealed. Some carried artifacts traced to ancient Oman over 1,000 miles away. How could a people so ancient have established such long-distance trade? Even stranger, some burials showed evidence of ritual sacrifice, bodies arranged in unnatural positions, with cuts on bones suggesting deliberate violence. Were these servants buried alive with their masters, or victims of darker, forgotten rites? For archaeologists, the drought was a tragedy, but for history, it was a window, a reminder that the dead do not always stay buried. Chapter 3. The Han Dynasty Family Tombs, China, 2025. Far to the east, in the fields of China's Shanxi province, construction workers stumbled upon a burial site that would rewrite local history. It was a cluster of Han Dynasty tombs over 2,000 years old. Unlike the grand mausoleums of emperors, these were family tombs, but what they contained stunned researchers. Inside were lacquered coffins painted with dragons, phoenixes, and celestial patterns. Dozens of jade artifacts lay beside the bodies, believed to protect the soul in the afterlife. In one chamber, a perfectly preserved bronze mirror reflected light even after millennia underground. But the most puzzling find was a sealed chamber filled with seeds and food offerings, still intact, still identifiable. This meant that these people had believed not only in eternal life, but in eternal hunger, preparing for a feast that never ended. Even more chilling was one coffin, where the remains of a child lay beside a figure believed to be a servant. The bones suggested they had been buried at the same time. Was this loyalty or sacrifice? For archaeologists, these tombs revealed how ordinary people, not just emperors, prepared for immortality. But for others, they revealed something more haunting, the price paid by those forced to follow their masters into eternity. Chapter 4. The Gladiator's Lost Tomb, Italy, 2025. Italy, 2025. Beneath the ruins of an old Roman road, archaeologists uncovered a tomb unlike any other. Inside lay the remains of a man in his 30s, his bones bearing the marks of brutal injuries, fractures, cuts, and dents consistent with weapons. At first they thought he was a soldier, but the truth was far more shocking. He was a gladiator, buried with honors. For centuries, gladiators were thought to be slaves, men thrown into the arena to die for sport. But this tomb suggested otherwise. Beside the body were offerings of fine pottery, weapons, and even a wreath of laurel leaves, symbols of respect. The inscriptions on the stone read simply, "He fought well." Why would a society that used gladiators for blood sport also bury them with reverence? Was this man a champion beloved by the crowds, or had he earned his freedom only to die shortly after? The tomb blurred the line between victim and hero, reminding us that even those crushed beneath the weight of empire left echoes that demanded to be heard. Chapter 5. The Tomb of the Faceless King, Central Asia, 2023. In the steppes of Central Asia, archaeologists uncovered a burial mound unlike any other. Beneath layers of soil and stone, they found the tomb of a ruler no one had expected to find. Inside, the skeleton was missing its skull. In its place rested a mask of hammered gold, featureless and smooth, as if the king had chosen to leave this world without a face. Surrounding the body were weapons, chariots, and the remains of sacrificed horses. Dozens of attendants had been buried with him, their bodies positioned in eternal servitude, but the inscriptions left more questions than answers. They spoke of a king who has no face, but who wears the faces of his enemies. Was this a poetic metaphor, or a terrifying truth about a ruler who absorbed the identities of those he conquered? The Faceless King remains one of the most unsettling discoveries of the decade, a reminder that power sometimes demands not remembrance, but anonymity. Chapter 6. The Curse of the Tomb of the Children, South America, 2018. Not all tombs belong to kings. Some belong to the forgotten, and their stories are the most chilling of all. In Peru, archaeologists uncovered a mass grave of over 140 children, dating back to the Chimu civilization. The skeletons showed signs of ritual sacrifice: slit sternums, broken ribs, evidence their hearts had been removed. Around them lay the remains of llamas, also sacrificed. Why would an entire civilization sacrifice its children? The evidence pointed to a desperate moment, perhaps famine, drought, or fear of natural disaster. The children had been offered to the gods to save their people. For archaeologists, this was one of the most heartbreaking discoveries in history. A tomb not of power, but of despair. A reminder that the past is not always glorious. Sometimes it is soaked in blood. Chapter 7. The Tomb That Should Not Have Existed. Oman, 2025. In 2025, archaeologists in Oman uncovered a tomb that shocked them for one simple reason. It should not have existed.